Well, greetings everyone once again. This is Kachik Jingarian, class of 97, here from Glendale, Arizona. And I decided today's the last day of the tribute. Actually, pretty much everyone's sort of gone home and the campus is kind of quieted down. And I thought this would be maybe a good time to take a quick little walkabout or drive about around the campus and sort of give you guys a final little tour, especially for those of you that weren't here, and hopefully try and capture some of the sights and sounds of our old home. I am right now, let me turn this around and sort of give you an idea of where I'm at. I am right now at the very tippy-top corner of 59th and Greenway here on the campus. And you can see here, you'll see some famous sights for a lot of you that were here on campus. But I figured I'd start at this corner. And the reason being is that for those of you that may know, and may even remember as far back, 59th and Greenway is where the original entrance to the school was. So we're going to take a walk over here and get onto campus, and you'll see here the main sign for Thunderbird School of Global Management, of course with the new ASU logo attached as well. Right here is the chapel. It's the Interfaith Chapel, which was built a number of years back and has hosted a number of the faithful on campus, and also was the founding location for the Thunderbird Choir. And for those of you that remember, Global Sounds was a nice practice spot. But here, there's Miss Terry Nissen from Alumni Relations on our Alumni Express. She'll be helping me go around the campus. But Terry, we're going to go over here to the main entrance. I'll meet you over there. So we're going to take our time and sort of walk around campus a little bit, or ride around and show you guys some of the different spots. This structure here that you see is actually the last bit of the original location for the main entrance, the original main entrance of Thunderbird. We'll be at the welcome gate a little bit later, but this is originally where people would come and go from the campus when it was originally built. And here you can see the entrance gate, sort of commemorative spot. Was set up in 1972 by Ann and Carl von Wrangel. And this is where people first came in when they came to Thunderbird. Terry, let's drive over and we'll head over to Founders Hall, which was originally the first main building that housed the Thunderbird administration, as well as the president's office. And again, it's a perspective that a lot of us, especially in the past 20 to 30 years, or even a little bit longer than that, don't remember, because this entire, the sort of center of campus was moved. But here you can see Founders Hall, which was established in 1941 as the first administrative offices for the school. So let's go, let's just drive right by Founders really quick, and then we'll continue the tour around. Terry's been kind enough to drive me around campus today, so we'll get to see some of the various sites. So here is again Founders Hall. We may, is the door, are the doors open? No, not open. Okay, so I'll just pop out really quick, and let me see if I can just give you guys a quick little show. But this is Founders Hall, and basically is now home to the alumni offices, where Alumni Relations is housed currently. And this is, you can see the Founders Hall plaque. I'll just read, this building is dedicated to the founders of American Graduate School of International Management, with Barton Kyle Gaunt leading the top. And this was June 5th, 1981, which it was dedicated. But if we can peek in here, this window here is actually I don't know that we can see inside, but aside from reflections, this is actually where the president's office was here on the corner, and was up until, I believe, into the late 80s, early 90s. So again, if you're just joining us, we're doing a sort of final alumni tour of the campus. And I'm with Terry Nissen from Alumni Relations, and we're just going to take a little road trip around campus and give you guys sort of a final hello and goodbye. Here you see some of the older dormitory buildings. Yeah, let's go this way and then we'll go around towards the pitch. We'll come back around this way where we'll probably end up at the executive inn at the end. But we're heading over towards the new entrance of the school. Yep. So, for those of you that remember, let me just do a quick scan over here. These are some of the old dormitories where it was, I believe, 4 people to a dorm. Yeah, I didn't stay in those, guys. Sorry. and most notably, one of the most important parts of our Thunderbird culture, to whom a group of people that I have a huge respect for and a huge love for and admiration, our rugby alumni. It's a little bit slower. And here is our wonderful rugby pitch, which has been home to so many phenomenal memories with our rugby players. Barbecues, lots of imbibing and drinking. Here you can see the remnants of last night's regional night from the event. But I want to show you guys a mural that was recently done a few years back. This was a great mural that was created. Do we know when this was created, Terry? You have any idea?
I don't know.
We don't have a date on it, but this was a mural created that brought rugby and Thunderbird all together, and great little tribute that was done more recently. As we move over here, and again, my compliments to our rugby alumni who were here for Raw Weekend a number of years back. Let's pull in over here and I'll walk over a little bit more. They had rugby Raw Weekend 3 weeks ago. We had how many people on campus? For 150 of our rugby alumni and supporters were here on campus. I'm gonna take a walk over this way, Terry, if you don't mind. And you know, my hat's off to the guys and gals, you know, rugby players, who have contributed so much to the Thunderbird culture. This was the Thunderbird Event Center, which is now called the Tech, as we call it. It used to be the Thunderbird Activity Center. Previously, this used to be the location for one of the 2 remaining hangars on campus. Here is, again, some things that we don't normally have sort of gone by and not seen, but this is the Thunderbird Pilots Memorial here on campus. And this was dedicated, I believe, dedicated in '97. But it is right across from the new, or relatively newer, Thunderbird Event Center, which again was home to host to the regional night that took place last night. And most definitely, one of the key spots that we need to go over to and visit, that I'm sure many of you remember, is the old Thunderbird pub. Yes, just think about those days when you guys were here on campus and the antics that took place in this building. So we'll take a walk through the old pub. It's a bit interesting to see because it's sort of the same kind of look and feel, just minus a lot of the people. But we were fortunate enough the other day to have, you know, one last pub night here at the old pub. The old pub was opened up. And let's see if we can actually go inside to the pub. Well, here's the old pub. And now I can see some of the comments, so forgive me, the sun's a bit bright. But thank you guys for your comments. Willie, good to see you. Tom, Trista, Sean, Gloria, Nathan, Douglas, Sean again. Wow, Sean. Priyanka, good to see you online as well. So here's some of the people have been signing, even on the ceiling, signing their final kind of messages. If you guys remember, this part of the pub was where the famous pool tables were, and the foosball, I think, was out there. But I think we had 2 pool tables here, if I'm not mistaken. And the bar, it was recently changed probably about, let's see, I want to say about 10 years ago. They did a remodel on it before they built the new pub. But the old bar, you can see the bar, the actual wooden portion of the bar has been removed, and those are actually, if interested, you are able to purchase a piece of the old pub. Just contact the alumni office. But yeah, this is our old pub. Kind of eerie, but it's nice to see it for one last time. And for those of you that may remember, our esteemed rugby players used to do some interesting beer slides on that floor, among a lot of other things that took place at this pub. So I'm sure many of you are thinking and going down memory lane, remembering some of the memories here. I believe for some of our older alums from the 80s and before, the fence was not here, or the wall was not here. I think it was just a fence, but we used to have a barbecue pit out here at some times. And yes, place of many, many memories. All right, so Terry, I'm gonna walk over towards west. Can you meet me over there? So, across from our pub, as many of you may remember, is the West Dormitory, or dormitories, I should say. It's the one thing I never learned when I was out here, so I don't speak English properly. Let me just take you back into the quad really quick. The West Dorms at one point were known as the married dormitories, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So at one point, married couples on campus were able to live here in the West Dorms. And in my time in the 90s, it had its illustrious history of being known as Melrose Place, for those that might remember. So again, the West Dorms, or the married residences here on campus. The Sobo Lounge, looking mighty Sobo-y. We can actually see now we're getting reflections, so unfortunately I can't take you guys in there. It seems to be locked, but the West Dorms. And now we'll head back over and meet up with Terry. Alrighty. So again, there's the old pub and the tech. Terry, we're gonna go out to the main entrance, if that's all right.
Yep.
And then we'll come back and I'll just give you guys a quick view from a distance from the parking lot here outside of the tower building. I know this parking lot saw a lot of walks from the pub to the tower, to the tower to the pub. We'll come back over here to the Yount building as well, and to the IBIC as we come back around. But right now we'll head out to the main entrance, the current main entrance or welcome gate here at Thunderbird. again, if you're just joining, we're doing a final alumni tour of our wonderful Thunderbird campus. We'll come out. Perfect. Basketball courts here behind the tech. Don't ask me, I don't know about athletics, but there were some athletic courts here. But here is our main entrance here. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Turn back around. There's the, for those of you who remember some of the apartment complexes, there's Country Gables, there's Country Stables. Go ahead, folks. And here is the welcome gate. And do you remember when it was launched, Terry, by chance? But there's there's the founding of the school, obviously 1946. But on this side here, you'll see, originally there were 10 welcome inscriptions on the welcome gate here, which symbolized the 10 languages the 10 original languages that were taught here on campus back in the 90s. So if I can remember correctly, English, Japanese, Russian, Portuguese, Italian, German, Mandarin, Spanish, French, and Arabic. And then lastly, later, I believe in the 2000s, Korean was added also because of the large Korean student population that we had here. Those were the original languages, the 10 languages that were taught here at Thunderbird. Or the most languages taught at one time on campus. Here's our welcome sort of directory here on the side of the road. And you'll see over in the distance over here as we're driving by is the YMCA building that was built in the late 90s. And just in the distance over there, give me 1 second, I see if we really can't see it, but if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple palm trees there in the back, is what's known as House 14, which used to be the old president's residence. Oh, okay, great. There's the flag poles, which, there it is, okay. So the flag poles here, as we had the tradition every day or every couple of days, there was a new flag that was raised here at Thunderbird to represent the various students or the different nations that were represented by the students on campus. And some years we had rotations of well in excess of 100 flags during the course of the year. The Thunderbird tennis courts, and in the back again, right behind those tennis courts in the distance, you'll see again House 14, or the old president's residence. It's, if I'm not mistaken, the only resident building that's still standing from when the campus actually housed staff on the actual property here. And as we look over into the distance here, the famous dirt lot. So here's some parking lot here in the right adjacent to us here, but in the distance you'll see the dirt lot which sort of surrounded campus. As we come around here, I'll move around this way. This building here is the Merle Heinrichs IBIC, International Business Information Center, that was built through a donation by Merle Heinrichs, one of our alums, very active alum, and past Board of Trustees member. Lost a treat, I guess. Some alum must have gotten drunk last night. But this was, at its opening, was one of the cutting-edge research centers, and basically replaced the old library. And now we're moving into the part of campus which was more of the modern part, which was built later. I'll swing by around here. Yeah, let's swing in here. Let me just stop here for one quick second. You'll notice sometimes, I may not point all of them out, but right here there's a street sign, and these street signs were all over campus that basically gave our little roadways some character, which by sort of incorporating the international theme with different cities and locations. And as we come around here, we're coming to the sort of main administrative section of campus, and we'll come around and we'll show you where we are. But here you can see again the field around the campus that has been there for so many years. As we turn further, you'll see let's park over here then. We'll go here. This is great. Perfect. And as I step out, let's take a look here and see. So this is the famous flagpole sort of point on campus, which is the furthest, let's see, the furthest southeast point of the campus. So we're basically, if we are on a grid, we're facing southeast. And the flags of the United States, the state of Arizona, and the United Nations originally, followed by the ASU flag, and then also, of course, our Thunderbird flag. And directly across from this is sort of the main hub of the administrative side of the school, what's now known as the Herberger Administration Building. And when it was originally built was the World Business Building, which housed both administration and the World Business faculty, and now is pretty much home to the faculty of the school, as well as the administration, the CEO's office. This was also where, up until recent times, everyone would come for admissions, for registrar, financial services. We can step inside really quick and visit the atrium of the building. Terry, I'll be right back. Don't miss me. Let's see if we can keep our signal going. Curses! Locked down. So unfortunately the building's locked down at this point, but inside here was the famous AT&T auditorium, which was one of the main auditoriums here on campus. The auditorium style classrooms that was host to a number of speakers and events. I'll be biased and say that's where we started Global Sounds. No bias, right? So we'll come back around. All right, Terry, let's go. Let's roam.
Campus?
Yeah, let's go inside campus. Maybe cut around and go by the building. Yeah, let's speed. Let's see if we can get a speeding ticket. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, perfect. So let's do this really quick. This is to the distance over here is the international, used to be the International Studies offices / department, home to some of the lecture halls. And then here is the Voris language building, which housed all of the language studies professors and some of the language classes. This was the building I'd always get lost in. Every time I'd walk in, I never knew where I was. It was made up of 3 different parts. Then over here, for those of you that might remember and stayed on campus, these here are the East dorms. So the East residences, the 4 buildings that made this up, along with the lounge in the center, if I'm not mistaken, the Coleman Lounge. But let's go on that way. Good, Terry, right through the barricades. Mm-hmm. So let's start with the Yount building. Actually, can we cut through that way and go that way, or? Yeah, let's do it. So this building here, as we're driving by, is the Yount building, originally the Yount building. and was home to, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first libraries here on campus. Prior to that, one of the libraries was actually over in near one of the other hangars, and we'll see that a little bit later. But here's another view of the IBIC, and you can see the. Let's stop for a second. Ooh, Lord, good driving, Terry. All right, so here's the reverse side of or the main entrance, I should say, of the IBIC, and you can see in the center there the famous globe statue. This was dedicated in class of 1960. Raised the funds, donated that to the campus. Kind of an iconic site on campus in more recent years. And as we move over this way, these are the Snell classrooms. And one of the first of the newer buildings that were built, I would venture to say I'm going to guess and say in the 70s, but served as classrooms and now are offices as well. And many of you might remember this famous fountain here in the center, the jacuzzi fountain, donated by the Jacuzzi family, which has also been home to a number of very interesting antics that took place over the years, especially during orientation times and orientation weeks. I'm sure many alums or many students ended up in this fountain one way or the other. So the jacuzzi fountain, Snell classrooms. A lot of the language courses, especially when I was here, were taught here in the Snell classrooms. We have the Joan and David Lincoln Computer Services Building. This was originally where the computer labs were, back in the times where personal computers or PCs had just started coming out. For those of you that may remember coming to Thunderbird, bringing your typewriters. Yes, typewriters. This was later built to house the latest technologies and I believe 3 or 4 computer labs at the time. By, I believe, the late 90s, it was kind of phased out, and then we had different types of IT services and Xerox services here at the building. We'll continue around this way. And again, there's more of our street signs. There's Ramsey Street, Cairo. Right in front of me here, this is the Alumni Pavilion. This was our welcome site for all of our alums that were here this weekend. Many of you may have already seen some of the live footage earlier. But this pavilion was donated by the alumni. And let me get up close to the plaque here. It was dedicated in '87, the Erickson Alumni Pavilion and Mall, during Dr. Voris's time. Here is what's called the Tally Building, home to Career Services currently. Well, the Tally Building originally did before Career Services. Do we remember what was here? I know the student government was here at one point.
Well,
it was Career Service. When I was here, it was Career Services.
Right.
Then it changed to something else.
And there was marketing and communications were in here at one time. Now Career Services is
back. Okay, great. So, unfortunately, given the number of students on campus, a lot of the buildings were sort of closed just because of the unnecessary, or they're not unnecessary expenses of keeping them open because of the numbers on campus. But again, still nice to see some of the same services and whatnot available on campus. Let's hop on. Let's do the Commons, and then we'll go to the tower. Or what do you recommend?
We'll go up, do that, the tower, then we'll go out and do the pool, and then we'll come back by exec ed and
all right, perfect.
And the
okay, that's great.
And the hotel, and that's kind of
yeah. So once again, there's the East dorms, In the distance, you can see the Coleman Lounge. Actually, we can also go to the post office area too. Here is the Thunderbird Commons, which, if I'm not mistaken, was opened in 1997 to replace the old Thunderbird Dining Hall, and now is pretty much a really central part of the campus for student life. And what I'm going to do right now is take you over here to probably the most iconic location on campus, which is our lovely tower building. The tower building obviously was here during the time when Thunderbird was an airfield, and was a functioning tower for the pilots coming in and out and training. Here you can see sort of the remnants of the celebration from this weekend, but I want to get around and give you guys a bit of a view. This back portion here, so the tower was completely renovated after being in kind of a sorry state for a number of years. It was completely renovated back in 2011, or completed in 2011. And we have the tower was basically designated as a real student center, so even more so than it was originally. Over the side here is the Thunderbird, or the Thunder Shop, which has t-shirts and Thunderbird memorabilia. There's some conference rooms, and of course the observation area where the tower sort of control room would have been many years back. Now had been available to be able to actually go up and see and view the campus. And as we go around here, many of you may remember that, well, the tower building played many roles over the course of the Thunderbird history. At times it was an administrative offices, or the head administrative offices for the campus, and also for student government, but it's always been a real sort of center, and now is home to the new Thunderbird pub. So let's take you in really quick for a quick tour. And of course, if there's ever anybody on campus, they are here at the pub. Take a quick little walk around. And as you saw maybe in some of the other live feeds that we did before, this is where a lot of the alums were. Of course, this was our home base this weekend. How are you guys doing? Did you all survive this weekend? Yeah.
We survived!
Fantastic.
It's not over yet. We enjoyed it.
Excellent. Keep enjoying. We're doing a tour of the campus. Check it out online later. Through here gets us over to the Thunder Shop, obviously. And as we go out here, the outdoor sort of patio area of the pub. Good to see some people still out here and playing around. Here's our game room, the new area. But hey guys, we're just doing a quick little tour of the campus. So it's nice to see our alums still making themselves at home. Is our class there? Yeah, great. Our classmates. So we've had people here all weekend long, sort of signing things and making their sort of last, taking pictures and whatnot. But here's one of the Thunderbird insignias. Messages and whatnot with chalk. Great photos and souvenirs from times past. Enjoy, guys. And again, here's the patio. We've got more alums still here, thankfully, on campus. And of course, our
those are the ones that are going undergrad. Yeah, they were on the stage last night. Oh,
and again, sort of looking out towards the parking lot over towards the tech. the coveted covered parking spaces that were here, the few that were here. In the distance over there, you can see some of the older buildings. Actually, we can go out this way. Let's just do one last kind of look at the pub. Steamers, the misters are going full bore. My hair's gonna frizz. Okay, let me move out this way. We can see sort of the back side of the pub, or the tower, I should say. And many of you may remember there's an entrance over here. Again, a lot of times were administrative offices, but also at times home to Das Tor, student government offices. In the distance, further off, which we'll get around to a little bit later, is student government offices now, which used to be also the health center at times. Again, some of the newer dorm rooms, which we'll visit shortly. So let me go find Terry and do another tour back here. And again, if you're just joining, this is our sort of walking tour of the campus, kind of a final alumni nostalgic tour of our home as we kind of say goodbye to this chapter. See if I can move a little faster. I'm working on real low energy, folks, so bear with me. So once again, all right, let's head back over and meet up with Terry. All right, Miss Terry.
Oh, he's doing it?
Are we ready? Yes, we're live streaming.
Oh, you can say hi?
Get to say, of course you get to say hi. We all get to say hi. Did you have fun this weekend?
I did. It was amazing.
Excellent. Excellent. Where are you visiting from?
San Diego.
Fantastic. Class of?
2000.
Excellent.
The best class.
The best. I don't know. I may argue on that one. Great. I'm glad you made it out. So we're gonna continue our tour. Let's go, if you don't mind. Let's go that way. Let's get over to the old hangar. Bye.
Bye, T-Bird.
You don't want to swing up by the pool?
Yeah, we can.
And then
Okay, we can do that too.
That's
All
what
right,
I
so let's do that first. So here we're seeing the one of the newer dormitories, or one of the newest dormitories that was built on campus, the A dorms. And I loved how when I checked in for housing back in my day, they used to call the second floor the penthouse floor. And here we are at the sort of center of, let's stop over here at Thunderbird Living. And here we can see, oh good, there's still some people on campus. Here is one of the two original pools on campus, but actually the last remaining, I should say, pool. And our alums are still here enjoying, which is great. So over here again is let me see if I can get past the gates here, or the fence, the A dorm, and built right around 95 was the last new dorm to be built, the B dorm. 2 people, or 2 rooms with an adjoining bathroom. This area, which over recent years became known as the Fish, because it's fish-like shape, was home to a number of regional nights and parties and events and barbecues. It was where one of the older pools was. So there used to be 2 pools on campus. If a lot of our older alums remember, 2 pools on campus. Now just 1, but a number of offices and classrooms. And then on this side here, this is D-Dorm, what used to be D-Dorm. And let me hop back on. And then again, back in the 90s, one of our personalities on site here at Thunderbird was our groundskeeper, Bud Clutter, was responsible for a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for, Terry? Landscape. Wow, jeez, I am tired. A lot of the landscaping on campus, and many of us remember the palm trees over there. We're gonna go back out and around, and again on the tower building. Thunderbird Commons. Sorry? So yes, so we're heading out to another one of the last remaining original buildings that was here on Thunderbird campus, which is the hangar, one of the two hangars that were here when the school was founded. Again, before Thunderbird came into existence as a graduate school, or as a learning institution, I should say. It was home to Thunderbird Airfield, which was a training site for the Army to train pilots during World War II. This was one of the original hangars that was built for the... Let's do it that way. Sorry, Terry.
No, you're good.
Well, that's a wall, so we'll go around a little bit and see. So let's go up that way, if you don't mind. Cool. Again, the east dorms. And as we come back around here, it's,
I'll whip
yeah,
around so it's on your side.
cool. So again, we're basically at the northeast corner of the campus. And here you can see again the old hangar. Thunderbird Archives was established a few years back, and many of you may remember Thunderbird Archives more with the original bookstore that was on campus. Mail services was actually our old post office at times. And these glass windows here, let's stop for just a second. The glass windows here went through a bunch of different permutations. I found out at one point this was, let's get out here for a second, see if, is mail services open, do you think, Terry? No. Okay, so many of us would come and get our mail at the mailboxes before we had email. But here, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, I was told that this area here was actually one of the first libraries on campus. So there was, in fact, I wish I could get in. Let's see if it's open, but let's see if they left it open. Yes, it's open. What do you know? So this, Dean, are you here?
I am here.
Dean Warner. Oh my gosh, Dean Warner. We're live on Facebook, Dean. So Dean Warner is from class of 1957. From the, what was the name of the school back then? American Institute of Foreign Trade.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Dean actually came back to campus, lives in San Francisco near me, and was class of 57, also the founder of the Global Market. But Dean, you were telling me earlier, this used to be the library?
This was the library, this spot here.
This spot here.
Yeah.
And the map that's on the wall inside, was that part from the library, or was that from the travel agency that was here?
That came here, let's see.
I put you on the spot, Dean. Don't worry.
It wasn't here at the library.
Oh, okay. So that was probably an add-on later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, basically, Dean's actually just packing up the last of the things from the Global Market. I'll let you get back to work. We're on a tour for the campus, so we're doing a quick little tour. But basically, as Dean said, this was one of the old libraries. Yep.
Could I get you to call the security?
Yeah, I'll have them to give you a call.
They were supposed to come over.
Okay.
They haven't been.
All right, and then here you can see this is there. At one point, this was a travel agency for the school as well. I'll let them know, Dean.
Thank you.
Terry, can you call security for Dean to have him, if you don't mind? And for those of you that may remember also, Thunderbird also hosted a fairly large and popular event called the Thunderbird Balloon Races. And the Thunderbird Balloon Races lasted under Thunderbird's name for many, many years. Started on campus with hot air balloons here on campus, and people used to go up for balloon rides. But the balloon races eventually went over to Scottsdale. It used to be held at the same time during homecoming weekend, which took place here on campus. But this area here at one point was also the home to the balloon race office. So again, I'll just sort of pan around the E-Storms. Yeah. Were you able to give them a call? Cool. All right, and let's continue on. For those of you that may remember also, this hangar eventually became storage for a lot of the facility services and student storage. Our facility services office out this way. And to my left here is the Barbara and Craig Barrett Exec Ed building, the Executive Education building that was built in the 2000s, the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. 98. Ooh, I'm off. Sorry. My bad.
That's okay. You were close. Really close.
And these buildings were also at one point class dormitories, but were converted to be the first part of the Executive Inn. I myself remember vividly coming here and staying here when I was coming to interview for Thunderbird. And then up until right around the same time that so this must have been the 2000s then. Right around here we're coming up to the Executive Inn, the sort of hotel on campus. This weekend played host to a lot of our rowdy alumni. We had a lot of fun, and of course the second floor, yeah, let's go around that way. Second floor lounge was sort of, second floor lounge was basically our sort of second home. Can we go out that way? And then if you want, you can drop me off over there. I'll meet you later in the lobby. Is that all right? Perfect. So some of the hotel rooms here. I'll walk through and I'll meet you over there.
Okay.
Cool. That's fine. Perfect. So, thanks, Terry.
Yep.
Terry, wave goodbye. Bye, Terry. Terry, just a thank you again. And our dear Terry is going to be enjoying her retirement after 20 plus years of serving Thunderbird alumni in the Alumni Relations Department. We will miss her tremendously. She's been a huge asset to the alumni and to the school, and wish her all the best as well. I'll point out this grass field that we're looking at. Obviously a grass field. There's the back portion of the Executive Education building, but this is where the old dining hall used to be. So for those of you that remember the old dining hall, this was the home of the dining hall, as well as, which the name escapes me, there used to be a little cafe on the back side of that. And the dining hall again was replaced with the new commons back in the 90s, 96 and 97. Again, the B dorms over here, and we will come around this way. So the B dorm was the last, again, dormitory to be built on campus. And again, some of the hotel rooms, previously dorms as well. Unfortunately, a lot of the old barracks buildings, original buildings, were replaced because of structural issues over time. I believe these were built in the 50s or 60s, these buildings here, so these were not the original buildings from the days of the airfield. This is the backside sort of quad of the executive education, sorry, the executive inn, I should say. And as we can see, people are starting to make their ways home. And we'll just come back over here really quick. Oh, good to see you. So everyone, I hope you've enjoyed, let me turn this thing on. I hope you've enjoyed this last kind of tour of the campus. I hope I got everything in so you guys could see it. I really wanted to sort of share some fun history and memories of the campus. We really had a wonderful time with each other this weekend, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody at some of the other reunions. The upcoming in June, we have the Stockholm reunion, the European reunion, which will be held in Stockholm, June 28th through July 3rd. If you have not booked tickets for that, if you have not registered for that, I highly recommend it. Everybody that goes to a European reunion will vouch for the fact that it is one of a kind. So be sure to not miss that. There is a Facebook group, Thunderbird European Reunion, and as well as information on the Thunderbird website. And last but not least, I would like to encourage everybody moving forward. Thunderbird was, as mentioned, and as we all know, is moving to a new location downtown Phoenix, and we start a new chapter in downtown Phoenix with eventually our new facilities, state-of-the-art facilities right in downtown with the rest of the ASU campus. But I really would like to encourage you guys, those of you that were here and those of you that were not, as alums, the only thing that I would ask of you all, at the minimum, is to make sure you guys stay together and connected with each other. If you can, reach out to your local chapters, your classmates, your friends, and join your Facebook groups, join your LinkedIn groups. Get involved as much as possible, because in the end, the one thing that makes Thunderbird the most unique and the most special, and what keeps the mystique alive, is us. So I really encourage you guys to step out, connect, stay connected. Join us for our first Tuesdays, our alumni events, and stay in touch with each other, and let's keep the mystique alive. So from me, Kachi Jingarian, class of 97, take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.